నమస్తే టీసాట్ గురుకుల ఉద్యోగ గైడ్ కార్యక్రమానికి స్వాగతం. గురుకుల ఉద్యోగం కోసం ప్రిపేర్ అవుతున్న అభ్యర్థులారా, మీకోసం టీసాట్ ప్రతిరోజు వివిధ సబ్జెక్టులకు సంబంధించి ఎక్స్పర్ట్స్తో సలహాలు సూచనలు అందిస్తుంది. ఇందులో భాగంగా ఈరోజు మనం పెడగాజీ ఆఫ్ కామర్స్, అసలు ఈ సబ్జెక్ట్కి సంబంధించి ఉన్న 100 మార్కుల్లో ఇంపార్టెంట్ చాప్టర్స్ ఏంటి, ఓవరాల్ చాప్టర్స్ ఏంటి, ఏ చాప్టర్స్ క్వశ్చన్ని ఎలా చదవాలి, అదేవిధంగా ప్రీవియస్ ఇయర్ క్వశ్చన్ పేపర్స్ ఏంటి, దానికి సంబంధించి మనం ఏ విధంగా నేర్చుకోవాలి, ఇలాంటి అనేక విషయాల మీద క్లియర్ ఇన్ఫర్మేషన్ ఇవ్వడానికి సబ్జెక్ట్ ఎక్స్పర్ట్ దీపా గారు ప్రస్తుతం మనతో పాటు స్టూడియోలో ఉన్నారు. వారిని పరిచయం చేసుకుందాం. మ్యామ్ నమస్తే.
నమస్తే అండి.
వెల్కమ్ టు స్టూడియో.
థ్యాంక్ యూ.
మ్యామ్, ఈ పెడగాజీ ఆఫ్ కామర్స్కి సంబంధించి ఓవరాల్గా ఎన్ని చాప్టర్స్ ఉన్నాయి, అందులో కూడా ఇంపార్టెంట్ చాప్టర్స్ ఏంటి, ఆ చాప్టర్స్ని ఎలా చదవాలి, వీటికి సంబంధించి ఒకసారి క్లియర్ ఇన్ఫర్మేషన్ మా అభ్యర్థులకు ఇవ్వండి.
డెఫినెట్లీ చెప్తానండి. పెడగాజీ అంటే ఇట్ ఈస్ బేసికలీ ద మెథడ్ ఆఫ్ టీచింగ్. సో ఇప్పుడు 10 చాప్టర్స్ ఉన్నాయండి టోటలీ. 10 చాప్టర్స్లో కూడా ఇంపార్టెంట్ చాప్టర్స్ ఏవేవి ఉన్నాయో అవి నేను ఎక్స్ప్లెయిన్ చేసి మరీ చెప్తాను బ్రీఫ్గా. సో ఫస్ట్ యాక్చువల్లీ సోషల్ స్టడీస్ అంటే ఏంటి, బేసికలీ సోషల్ స్టడీస్ ఎందుకు టీచ్ చేయాలి పిల్లలకి, యాజ్ అ ఆస్పిరెంట్ యూ షుడ్ నో దిస్. సోషల్ స్టడీస్ విలువ ఏంటి, వాల్యూ ఏంటి, వీ షుడ్ నో దిస్ ఫస్ట్ బిఫోర్ రైటింగ్ దిస్ ఎగ్జామ్. సో ఇట్ ఈస్ బేసికలీ టు హెల్ప్ యంగ్ పీపుల్ in developing the ability to make them informed as well as take reasoned decisions for the public good. As a citizen of a culturally diverse democratic society in an interdependent world. So social studies is not only, it is a study about social, but it is in depth. We have to teach them everything anamata, how to take decisions, how to live in the society, how to behave in the society, along with the values and morals and ethics. Okay. So next వచ్చి social science. Social science అంటే ఏంటి, it is totally it is an inference అన్నమాట. As the name itself suggests, social science అన్న పదమే name itself suggests like social science is concerned about society. No man can live alone, right? So he needs a company in the society. So it aims basically by understanding the society, basically the aspects in the society. Okay. As well as it has to find, we have to find why we have to teach them about the society. Findings are the solutions to deal with social problems.
Yes.
When we live in society, there will be many problems. We have to face many problems, of course. It is not like we have to face, but we should make the child to enable and well equipped to face the society and the social problems as well. It is a broad area of knowledge. Social sciences is a broad area of knowledge, and it includes several disciplines, different disciplines under its domain. We will go into these chapters. As I said, there are 10 chapters. The first chapter talks about the nature of social sciences and its historical development, including the contributions of important social scientists and thinkers given in the school textbooks. Next is, what is the importance of social sciences in school curriculum? Basically, what is the nature of social science means you should understand the nature in depth. Each and every word given in the syllabus is very important. Basically, I advise the aspirants to download the syllabus first. In fact, it should not be in the phone or it should not be in the computer, but take the papers of the syllabus. It will help you a lot. Each and every word in the syllabus is important, because every chapter states different points, right? So that you have to prepare and well equipped to write the exam. So ikkada vachi nature of social sciences. What is the use of social sciences? Why we have to teach the children about social sciences? What is the importance? And talking about historical development, why history is needed? Why a child or a student has to study about the history? Is it really essential? Of course, It is essential because without knowing history, we can't go forward. History is the backbone. Sometimes we say, like, in history, whatever the problems our generations have faced, based on those problems, there are solutions also. So we have to teach about the history. History is the main subject. Some people will tell it is like a dry subject, but no, it is not so. We need to imbibe the values of history. It includes the contributions of important scientists. Why we have to talk about the scientists? Because they have given their inputs. So we need to explain to the children about the scientists also. So in this way we have to gain knowledge about the scientists. We have to study. You need to study about the scientists, about their contributions. And why is the school curriculum important? Why? The curriculum which is constructed basically for the students. Why is it so important? Basically to develop the skills of the student to live in the society. This is about chapter 1. Now coming to the nature of social sciences. I have already spoke, and there are certain points in the syllabus like aims and objectives of social sciences, NCF, National Curriculum Framework 2005. NCF 2005, aims and objectives of teaching social sciences. At present we have NEP. So NEP 2020, which was introduced, and now it has been implemented in this year. So this is main. If you just concentrate in this chapter also, you will get lot of points. You can gain. So next is contribution of important social scientists, which we have already spoken about. For example, Aristotle, John Locke, Herbert Spencer, G.D. Krishnamurti, Dr. S. Radhakrishnan, and these are the examples which I have given to you, so that you will keep in your mind and go through about this social scientists. And I have given the quote also about which G.D. Krishnamurti Garu spoke about, which is very important to understand to teach social sciences. He said, in our relationship with children and young people, we are not dealing with mechanical devices that can be quickly repaired, but with living beings who are impressionable, volatile, sensitive, afraid, affectionate, and to deal with them, we have to have great understanding, the strength of patience and love. Impressionable is, you know that word, volatile, which is not stable, right? As a human beings, not each and every person, if you think about them, not one person is also stable. Each and every moment, the thinking will be changed. So what he said is to develop the relationship among the children in the society. So he also states that human beings are not mechanical devices. They are human beings. So they think, they talk, and sometimes if they don't like the environment, they also question. So it is basically to understand the society. This is what the quotation says about. Coming to the next chapter, chapter 2, it talks about values, aims, and objectives of teaching social sciences. Next is role of values about teaching social sciences. What are the values which we imbibe about in student? Values play an important role. Whenever, as a lecturer or a teacher, whenever she teaches the social subject to the child, she tries to imbibe these values and aims of teaching social sciences, social science subjects, which are especially geography, history, civics, and economics. Another quote which I like to quote is, which I like to say about is G.S. Brown. He is a social thinker. He said, social studies, social sciences should be the most valuable subject in the school curriculum. Its objectives are to foster in the pupils an active interest in everything affecting the community in which they live, to train them in clear thinking on public questions and to equip them for sound judgment in the future by a full study of their environment. By this, I hope you understand how important is social sciences. Next is objectives of teaching history, geography, economics and political sciences. In history, what are the basic objectives which we have to teach as a teacher? Once you get the job, that is not sufficient. Getting job itself is not sufficient. So you need to know why you have to get the job, why you are studying this basic subject. You need to understand in depth the objectives of teaching history. So why do we need to teach history? It is to inculcate the attitudes of historical mindedness, scientific temper and such other attitudes, as it aids to training for citizenship, as well as to develop cultural interest. What is the value of culture? Each and every society has culture. Each and every, if you take our India, it is diverse. Every state has its own culture, right? So basically, to develop the culture in the future generation, we need to pass on the culture to the future generation, as well as to accumulate certain definite knowledge of the past, to attain noble ideals and high concepts of loyal to oneself, not to cheat others, right? And to one's fellow, to his friend or to the society, by teaching the elements of civilization in the past. This talks about the history, as well as to develop the close relationship of humanity. Without humanity, we can't exist in this world. And humanity with nature, environment and human development from time to time. Next, objectives of teaching geography. Why is it important, geography? Why do the child need to study about geography? Basically, before teaching to the child, teachers should understand, the lecturer should understand. Why is the geography important? Geography is very much important. It is basically to identify the varieties in the distribution of physical and economic phenomena over the surface of the earth, and to analyze the way of life of people all over the world, as well as to develop an appreciation of interdependence of various geographical regions, to develop understanding of the close relationship of human beings with the geography where they live. Coming to economics, the objectives of economics are to know modern economic principles by observation and thorough understanding of current practices, to apply sound economic theories to everyday life, to develop a thorough appreciation of economic problems and to clear insight by the pupil into the social and economic development. Coming to the political science, what are the objectives in this political science, which a lecturer, a teacher has to understand before teaching? The objectives are to provide the information about social arrangement to maintain peace and order, to develop democratic values, to make ability to analyze political system and behavior. Next is to develop awareness of individuals on the relationship of human existence with the political life they live. This is very important. As a lecturer, you need to understand. As an aspirant, you need to understand. Of course, you will get the job. As you know, there are 100 marks, but you need to concentrate on this aspects as well. Coming to chapter 3, psychology of teaching and learning social sciences. Why do we need to talk about psychology and why is it given in the syllabus? Teacher has to understand the psychology of child. So it is most important. Every child is different. As Jiddu Krishnamurti garu said, each child is different. We need to cater to their needs. We need to understand their needs in the classroom. Every child is diverse, right? Their thinking is different. So the psychology of teaching of the social sciences is very much important. In this, what are the objectives? The objectives of teaching social sciences, as we already spoke, teaching learning strategies. There are different strategies in teaching. There are discussion methods, for example, value-based strategy, ICT. So these are the strategies which are applicable. You need to study about these strategies also in depth. And coming to the approaches of teaching, there are different kinds of approaches. How do we approach the child? Directly you can't go. There is a syllabus, you need to follow the syllabus. And the curriculum is built for the child, right? So these approaches are of different kinds. What are these approaches? Let us see this. Interdisciplinary approach in teaching social sciences, approaches to teach history, dialectical approach, biographical approach, scientific approach in teaching this history as well as other divisions in the subject, postmodernist approach, nationalist approach, and dramatization. Coming to chapter 4, social sciences curriculum. Why is it constructed? What is the reason? Curriculum construction, curriculum organization, curriculum development. Each and every part of this syllabus is important. You need to understand. See, it is curriculum, organization, and development. Basically, it talks about the curriculum, social sciences curriculum, construction, organization, as well as development. Construction of curriculum, selection of social studies curriculum, organization of social sciences curriculum, organization and development of social sciences curriculum, the curriculum approach in economics, curriculum development, and what are the criteria for development in social sciences. So this chapter is also important. You need to basically see each and every word and go in depth. You need to get the basic gist of it to teach the child, to write the exam also. So coming to chapter 5, approaches, methods and techniques of teaching social sciences with special reference to the topics of school curriculum. This is the very important chapter. Chapter 5 is very important. Kindly note it, because if you are thorough with approaches, methods and techniques of teaching social sciences, definitely you will get at least 90 marks out of 100. For example, storytelling method, supervised method, textbook method, source method, lecture method, demonstration method, dramatization method, team teaching method, which is also called as peer teaching, and problem solving method, project method, discussion method. These are the examples of methods. Chapter 6 talks about planning for effective instruction in social sciences. Different plans and designing learning in unit approach, concentric approach, topical approach. And you also know each and every teacher is aware of types of plans. What are the types of plans? Year plan, unit plan and lesson plan, Herbartian lesson plan and instructional objectives. So coming to the chapter 7, learning resources and designing instructional material in social sciences. Social sciences, labs, teaching aids, textbooks, ICT in social sciences. So in this syllabus, talking about chapter 7, I hope each and every teacher understands the learning resources. What are the resources to teach the child? How do you teach the child? You can't directly go, right? As I said earlier, you should have a lesson plan, which we talked in the previous chapter. And designing the instructional material, you need to understand it. And about social science labs. What are the things which are in social science labs? For example, globe and all the teaching and learning materials which are in the social labs. You need to know the replicas in social labs. So, and teaching aids. What are the teaching aids which teacher has? How she teaches? Some of the teachers uses these aids brilliantly to present about the topic, particular topic. So these teaching aids, what are the types of teaching aids? In textbooks, if you see in textbooks, we see about the contributions of different thinkers, social scientists. So you need to elaborate this, you need to study about this in textbooks starting from 6th standard to 10th standard. And ICT in social sciences. How is ICT effective in social sciences? How is it useful? For example, if we see in Corona timings, there were no schools. I mean, schools were there, but still we couldn't go to school directly. It's only through ICT. So how is it helpful to the student? What are the pros and cons of ICT in social sciences? And criteria for a good social textbook. ICT in social sciences, internet, you know about at present the generation which is now is totally depending on internet. So you need to talk about internet, how is it related to the commerce and how is every transaction going on. For example, out of the textbook also they may ask you the question, educational softwares which are used now, the benefits of IT for teachers, information technology for teachers, what are the benefits, and open access journals. Chapter 8 talks about measurement and evaluation in social sciences. Continuous and comprehensive evaluation. It is called a CCE model. So why do we need to evaluate a student, a lecturer or a teacher? The basic method, what is the method which they use to evaluate? It is a continuous comprehensive evaluation. Formative assessments are there, summative assessments are there. Sometimes teacher also conducts exams in the class. So what are the tools and techniques of evaluation? You should be well aware of these tools and techniques of evaluation especially. So achievement and diagnostic tests. What are the different diagnostic tests which are to be conducted? There are 6 primary empirical tools that are used by social scientists. They are surveys, interviews, focus groups, field observation and experimentation. This chapter is also important. So, what is continuous and comprehensive evaluation? As the word itself says, it is continuous and comprehensive, right? It doesn't stop. The evaluation of the student is continuous and comprehensive. So evaluation is really an integral part of the teaching learning process. Without evaluating, we doesn't know how the child is growing. What are the developments of the child? As a social studies teacher, if you evaluate your students in the beginning of the course and know about their abilities and teach them according to their level, your teaching is likely to be more helpful. So you need to understand the child psychology. There are slow learners, there are very fast learners, gifted children, Some children, they're very, they can't understand. About this, you need to learn in depth. So, during the course of instruction, evaluation provides a feedback to the teacher, and he can modify his teaching methods accordingly and explain further the concepts which are not understood by the students. The teacher may evaluate students unit-wise, periodically, and also may conduct at the end of the course a comprehensive test. Thus, evaluation is a continuous process. So, what are the achievements? What are the achievement and diagnostic tests? Let us learn about it. Tools of evaluation in social studies, considering the nature of learning, outcomes in social studies. It can be said that a teacher has to make use of a variety of evaluation tools. There are different evaluation tools. Teacher has to make use of those evaluation tools. To measure learning in different content areas of social studies, achievement tests are very useful. While providing instruction, the teacher will be required to make use of oral tests. Next, whether what students have to write. If the question paper is given to them, what they are going to write, whatever they have written, for that we have to evaluate, obviously. So, what are the tools which we apply to develop his skills to understand the concept in depth? So, just memorization is not enough. So, we need to learn about the student psychology, and here written with understanding or simply copied can be assessed through oral testing also. In most other situations, achievement tests are quite useful. These are mainly objective type, short answer type, and essay type. So, chapter 9 talks about learning disabilities, difficulties and education of exceptional disabled children in social sciences. Now, as an aspirant, you are going to give an exam. So, why do you need to understand about this particular chapter? Why? What is the reason? The learning disabilities in children, why do you need to understand about the disabilities in children? It is to understand the mindset of the child, to enable them, to help them, to equip them with the concept. So, we need to learn about the inclusive classroom also, which is introduced in NAP 2020. Exceptionality, impairment, disability, handicap. So, this chapter also plays important role. You need to concentrate on this chapter. There are quite few questions in this chapter as well. So, SLD, what is SLD? Specific learning disability. Comprises a heterogeneous group of disorders with the main impairment being cognitive processing. This leads to challenges in academic performance and has psychosocial implications. Specific learning disability is a neurodevelopmental disorder of biological origin and occurs in the absence of intellectual disability, neurological dysfunction, or environmental deprivation. So, this specific learning disability usually manifests in early school years. We can identify the disability in the child, though later manifestations are not uncommon when the academic demands exceed capabilities. Chapter 10 talks about social sciences and everyday life, non-formal social sciences, social studies in everyday life, need for non-formal education. Why a child needs non-formal education? This would include a deliberate attempts of parents and elders in the family and community to help the young ones grow and adapt themselves to the environment. Informal education would also include all incidental learnings that take place while at work or at play, and during travels, as well as spontaneous learning through films, radios and television. So here in this chapter, if you see, you are also aware that as an aspirant, you are also aware of this chapter 10. So here, why is it needed? Non-formal education. What are the inputs in this chapter? If you are thorough with this, each and every aspect present in this chapter, you will be able to write the exam very well. Coming to non-formal education. Non-formal education is an organized, systematic educational activity carried out outside the framework of established formal system, for example, school, while operating separately as an important feature of some broader activity that is intended to serve identifiable learning, clientele and learning objectives. So we have totally 10 chapters. So in this 10 chapters, most weightage is given to chapter 2, 5 and 8. Each chapter carries 15 marks in total, so it is 45 marks which you will get if you are thorough with each and every aspect. Chapter 1, 4, 6, 7 covers 40 marks. Chapter 3, 9 and 10, these are related to child development, child psychology, which carries 15 marks. So the questions are of following types. What are the questions which you will face in the exam? General MCQs, which are 15 questions. Direct questions are 20. Match the following will be 10 mostly. Negative statements which are stated as not, which will be 20 questions. Multiple correct answers, in the option itself there will be correct answers, but you need to choose the correct answer, which is a very difficult aspect here. So multiple correct answers, you need to understand here, it is very tricky. Multiple correct answers, they will give you the correct answer, out of it they will confuse you. The question paper will be set in such a way like the aspirant will get confused. It carries 20 questions. Beyond textbook, 5 questions. Relating to laws, theories and cost accounting, 10 questions will be given. So coming to the questions. In general MCQs, 15 questions will be given, out of which one examples which I have taken. One example is like by seeing the previous question papers, this is the question which has been selected. The question is, the job of a finance manager is confined to A. Raising funds and their effective utilization, management of cash, raising of funds, none. B is management of cash, C is raising of funds, D is none. So you need to think, as you have negative marking here, you need to understand the question first. Blindly, if you just go on bubble the answer sheet, you will lose the mark. So you need to think positively, think about the question, read it 3 times. If you don't understand for first or second time, read it. And here accuracy is important, speed is also important. Continuously reading and pondering on the particular question itself will make you to lose the time. You will lose time. Time is very less, so in the examination point of view, you need to understand So you have to maintain your time also here. The job of a finance manager is confined to raising funds and their effective utilization, which is A. Answer is A. Next question is direct questions which will be given to you. Here, according to dash model, the dividend decision is irrelevant. According to whose model, the dividend decision is irrelevant. So you need to choose the scientific thinker here, scientific social scientist. Who is the social scientist? Whose model is this? Here the options are Walter's model, Gordon's model, Linter's model, model. Simply if you just go and bubble it as whatever you think, it doesn't work out over here. This is an exam. You need to understand the models as well. The scientific thinkers, what are their contributions, their propositions. If you are thorough with this scientific thinkers and their models, you will be able to answer this question. So here it is Modigliani and Miller. There are two people here, Fourth one is the correct answer. So I hope you understood now. Unless and until you study well about the thinkers, you will not be able to answer this question. Coming to third one, match the following tools and techniques of evaluation with their explanation. You will be facing might be 10 questions. So how do you match it? Here, whenever they give match the following, it is an elimination process. You need to understand this. Match the following. If you see and directly bubble the answer, it may go wrong and you have negative marking here. So in set A, there are 4 options. Set B, you have got 4 options. One is Viva, second is rating scale, third is anecdotal record, and fourth is seminar. So what is a correct match for this? What do you think? Just thinking and answering, bubbling is not enough, as I said earlier. So Viva here means Viva. What is it? It is basically when questions are answered verbally. And rating scale, rating scale, why is it used? What is the purpose of rating scale? You need to understand. So anecdotal record, why is it used? How it helps the child in his development? Why the teacher has to use the anecdotal record? Basically, without anecdotal record, can we maintain the systematic record of the child? No. So anecdotal record is essential. And the seminar means it is views and opinions which are presented and afterwards analyzed and evaluated by the presenter. So here you need to understand in depth. You need to be thorough with each and every concept, as I said. Viva, rating scale, anecdotal record, seminars. These are the tools and techniques. Here the answer will be Viva is when questions are answered. Rating scale is used. It is used for description of any specific incident of the individual. And for third one, anecdotal record. If you see this anecdotal record, it is basically a particular incident has to be specified. Rating scale is for assessing the quality of the pattern of person, such as attitude and personality. And as you know, the seminar means views and opinions are presented. The answer will be 3 here. So you need to understand the techniques and tools of evaluation in social sciences. The fourth question is negative statements. The question will be asked in such a way, like for example, which one of the following is not the cost of maintaining receivables? cost of maintaining receivables. Here the options which are given are 1. Cost of sales, 2. Cost of collection, 3. Bad debts, 4. Cost of financial receivables. The answer is 3. The cost of sales, cost of collection and cost of financing receivables are all costs linked with maintaining receivables. The cost of bad debts is not a cost linked with maintaining receivables. So here the word not, it is not the cost linked with maintaining receivables. Loss due to default of customers. So the answer is 3rd, which is bad debts. Now, another type of questions which you will face in the exam is arrange in order. Arrange the following concepts in the order in which they are evolved. A. Selling concept, B. Marketing concept, C. Customer concept, D. Production concept. What is the evolution? How is it evolved? Here the option is, correct answer is 4th. If you see production concept and A. Selling concept, B. Marketing concept, and then comes the customer concept. This is another way of facing the question paper. So this you may get in the exam. Matching, as you have seen already earlier, match the following. There will be 2 sets which are given. Here the match the following source with their types of source. Understand the question first. Match the following source with their type of source. The lowest need according to Maslow's theory. What is the lowest need? As you are writing the exam, by now I think you will be knowing Abraham Maslow's theory. So in this theory, what is the lowest need? You need to match according to the source. Here security, belonging, physiological esteem is given on one side. Another side, it is friendship, security of body, food, water, sleep and morality. So how do you match this? I will show you. This is the pyramid of Abraham Maslow. So in this pyramid, what is the answer? If we just go back, the lowest need according to Maslow's theory, lowest need is what? The lowest need is physiological. What is that need? Physiological need: breathing, food, water, sex, sleep, homeostasis, excretion. So you need to match this. And another questions which you will face in the exam are statistical analysis. There are 10 questions which I have seen in previous question papers based on statistical analysis. Coming to this question, when coefficient of skewness is 0, the shape of the distribution is, the given options are J-shaped, U-shaped, symmetrical, L-shaped. So if you are thorough with this concept, then only you will be able to answer. If you are not thorough, if you doesn't know the statistical concepts, if you are not thorough with statistics, then you will not be able to answer this. So statistics is also important. You need to understand. So here the answer is symmetrical. And the 8th question, it is beyond textbook. 8th one is, which I have mentioned here, is beyond textbook. You will be facing some 5 questions which are beyond the textbook, which are not from the textbook. Generally, these are general questions. So the question here is, in which of the following personal digital assistants, PDAs, are used for buying and selling of services? I'll read it again for you. In which of the following personal digital assistants are used for buying and selling of goods and services. It is options which are given are M-commerce, 2 V-commerce, E-commerce, 4 all of the above. So you need to think and answer. So if you just right away go and bubble M-commerce, it is wrong. V-commerce, it is also wrong. E-commerce is correct. You can't opt for all of the above. E-commerce is electronic commerce in which the personal digital assistants are used for buying and selling of goods. For example, Amazon, we purchase goods and we keep orders, right, in Amazon, and Alibaba. These are the sites which are useful. For example, in e-commerce. The next question is, dash is the method of protecting information and communication through the use of codes, so that only those for whom the information is intended can read and process it. Can read and process it. What is the method of protecting information and communication? So the method of protecting the information and communication through the use of codes. What are these codes? So not only you need to understand the present situation in the market. There are different types of things which are going on in digital. For example, which I have given you here is cryptography, texting, cryptanalysis, or fourth one, scrambling. For this, the answer is cryptography. Cryptography is the method of protecting information and communication through the use of codes, so that only those for whom the information is intended can be read and it is processed. So these are the questions which I have given, which have been noted in the previous question papers and the examples. I hope you understood the questions, and you will go through the syllabus by taking out the printout and keep it handy and study very well. Before, there are certain things which are to be done. What are the things to do? To get 90 to 95%, you need to study well. That is the first point. Without hard work, you will not get 1 mark also. You need to. Just by going there, simply writing the exam doesn't even affect anything. You need to work hard. Next, you need to refer academic books. Class 6th standard onwards, from 6th standard onwards to 10th standard, you need to refer the academic books, the textbooks, the social science textbooks. Practice, without practice you can't achieve anything. You need to consistently practice. Whatever you are doing, you practice. Take certain time in a day. Sit seriously. Practice well. You need to practice previous year papers. The question papers which are given in the previous year, you need to practice those question papers. And you have to give mock test also. This will help you in your time management. So practice with perseverance. First, read the question and understand the question. This is in the examination hall. These are the tips which I am giving you. First, read the question thoroughly and understand the question. Be cool and calm, and you need to have accuracy and speed. For example, the marks which are being allotted are 100. So you have to allocate the time according to the marks which are there. So, without time management, you can't achieve it. You need to be cool and calm, you need to have accuracy, and you should be speed as well. You need to think logically and eliminate wrong answer. Elimination process, whichever you feel like it is correct, you need to choose those, and whichever you feel it is not correct, you need to eliminate the wrong answer. For this you need thorough preparation of syllabus and the previous question papers. So I would like to say one thing. As you are applying for this post, you need to be focused. Basically, without focusing, you will not be able to achieve. You need to focus as a tiger focuses on the prey. You should not divert. You should not divert. Any diversions, for example, phone is a diversion. So, of course, if someone calls, you will just pick the phone and you will talk. You will stop studying. So, distractions and all, everything you have to avoid. Avoid distractions. Completely focus on the subject, on the syllabus. Practice well and maintain the time. For example, per day, if you have set aside 2 hours to study, 3 hours to study, 3 to 2 hours, you need to sit and study without distraction. Focus. Without focus, you can't study. Without focus, you will not understand the concept also. So, you need to focus on the questions, answers, on the concept basically. If you focus, definitely you will be getting 90 above. So, these are the tips which I have mentioned. So, I hope this will be helpful.
ఎస్ థ్యాంక్ యూ సో మచ్ దీప గారు. నిజంగా చాలా క్లియర్గా క్లీన్గా అభ్యర్థులకు అర్థమయ్యేలా ఎక్స్ప్లెయిన్ చేశారు. అభ్యర్థులారా క్లియర్గా విన్నారు కదా, కామర్స్కి సంబంధించి ఉన్నటువంటి 10 చాప్టర్స్లో ఏవి చదవాలో కూడా మేడం క్లియర్గా చెప్పారు. 10 చాప్టర్స్లో ఉన్నటువంటి టాపిక్స్ ఏంటో కూడా చెప్పారు. అదేవిధంగా 258 అవైతే ఇంపార్టెంట్ చాప్టర్స్ ఉన్నాయో అది చదవండి. 1467కి సంబంధించి ఏమైతే చూసుకోవాలో చూసుకోండి. అదేవిధంగా సైంటిస్టులకు సంబంధించి ఎస్పెషల్గా వారు ఏమి ఇన్వైట్ చేస్తారంటే వాళ్ళు ఏం చెప్తున్నారు ఏంటి, వాళ్ళకి సంబంధించి ప్రీవియస్ క్వశ్చన్ పేపర్స్ ఒకసారి చూసుకొని ఎవరి గురించి ఎక్కువగా ఇచ్చారుతో పాటు మిగతా విషయాలకు సంబంధించి కూడా మేడం చెప్పినవన్నీ కూడా ఫాలో అవ్వండి. ఎస్పెషల్లీ మీరు ఎగ్జామ్ హాల్కి వెళ్ళిన తర్వాత మాత్రం టెన్షన్ పడకండి. మీరు స్టూడెంట్స్కి క్లాసెస్ చెప్పాల్సిన వాళ్ళు కాబట్టి దాన్ని దృష్టిలో ఉంచుకోండి. ఎలా చెప్తే బాగుంటుంది ఏంటి అనేది ఆ కరికులం ఏదైతే ఉందో 6th to 10th ఉన్నటువంటి బుక్స్ అన్నీ కూడా కంప్లీట్గా రిఫర్ చేసుకోండి. అండ్ మేడం చాలా అమూల్యమైన సలహా ఇచ్చారు. అదేదో మన సిస్టమ్స్లోనూ ఇంకొక రకంగానో కాకుండా మీరు ఏదైతే చదువుతున్నారో దాని ప్రతీది కూడా నోట్ చేసుకోండి. ఉన్నటువంటి ఏవైతే 10 చాప్టర్స్ ఉన్నాయో అవి నోట్ చేసుకొని అందులో ఉన్నటువంటి కీ పాయింట్స్ ఏవో రాసేసుకుంటే మీరు ఎగ్జామ్కి వెళ్ళాక కూడా చూసుకోవచ్చు. అండ్ మోర్ ఎవర్ మర్చిపోకండి, నెగిటివ్ మార్క్స్ ఉన్నాయి కాబట్టి 1/4. సో ఆ నెగిటివ్ మార్కింగ్కి సంబంధించి ఎట్టి పరిస్థితుల్లోనూ మీకు ఆన్సర్ తెలియకుంటే అటెంప్ట్ చేయకండి. ముందైతే 100% మీరు షూర్గా ఉన్నటువంటి క్వశ్చన్స్ ఏవైతే ఉన్నాయో అవి అటెంప్ట్ చేస్తూ వెళ్ళండి. ఉన్నటువంటి టైం తర్వాత మీకు రాని వాటి గురించి ఆలోచించవచ్చు, అవి కూడా కంప్లీట్గా వస్తేనే చేయండి. ఇలాంటి అనేక అమూల్యమైన సలహాలతో పాటు సబ్జెక్ట్ చాలా క్లియర్గా ఎక్స్ప్లెయిన్ చేసినందుకు దీప గారు వన్స్ అగైన్ థ్యాంక్ యూ సో మచ్.
మై ప్లేజర్.
థ్యాంక్ యూ అండి.
ఇట్స్ మై ప్లేజర్.
ఇది ఈరోజు సబ్జెక్ట్. మరో సబ్జెక్ట్తో మళ్ళీ కలుద్దాం. థ్యాంక్ యూ.